Local closed captioning for Royameadow has been brought to you by Channel 93, the homeland for modern entertainment in Boston. Lena. This part of the Star Cruiser commentary is brought to you by you folks, the audience. For the past decade on YouTube and for the past almost 20 years at the local level, I and the people who make up Royameadow and Company from 1999 to the present day have been dedicated to making high to optimal quality material to the best of our current ability. From me personally, you have seen this work only evolve in its presentation to the point where it is of professional grade. And while I will admit that none of us have become nearly as popular as I feel that we rightfully deserve to be at the online level, we still wholly appreciate all of the good time and dedication that you have delivered to us over the years, and that will ultimately never change. Royameadow Generation 4 is right around the corner at the beginning of 2020. We will continue to deliver the material so long as at least one person gets some form of positive good out of it. The mission will continue on no matter where the times take us, and I hope that you'll join us for that journey. Welcome to the modern existence! Welcome to the 8th and final part of the Star Cruiser commentary. It's been a fun ride, ladies and gentle people. Oh my goodness, am I really turning gradually into the Massachusetts version of Clement? Only Clement says it's been a fun ride. But either way, it's now time for us to clean house, just get some items, not get some items. Actually, no, we do need to stock up on missiles and whatnot. So we're gonna take one final trip to the solar system. We'll also talk to some of the people that we didn't get to talk to yet, like here at the bar, because, after Seed returns, then we get some extra details, or I think after we defeat Barnard Talk. And, oh yeah, I forgot. When I initially recorded this part, I forgot to show off the bio for Carlin, so you're going to see that right now on screen. And that's it. That's it. We got all the characters, all the bios. Now we just need to work wonders on Void. So, yeah, we won't go to Void immediately. Just, again, we have to make sure that we have as many items as possible. And, yep, that's where I'm checking. We need to head back. We need to go back one final time so that we could spend only 4,000 credits. Because, man, do I refuse to go to Sirius and spend more for Homing Missile 1. Just Homing Missile 1. Be glad that Daigo Hidari's station has good quality Homing Missile 1 for 20 credits. By the way, for those who are curious, Mercury retrograde is over. We are currently still in the retrograde zone until August 15. It's 8:23, well, now 8:24, on August 2 of 2019. And I promised that I would be finishing up this commentary by the end of the week, at least before Saturday. So what better way to spend roughly 79 minutes, 80 minutes and change than right here with you guys. And that's it. That's the last we'll ever see of the solar system. So, say goodbye to all of our 9 planets for now. Yes, I still count Pluto as a planet. Duck whatever the scientists say. And the last time we get to hear this glitch. Man. Is this a bit bittersweet? Well, I mean, kind of for me it is. But, fortunately, the creativity doesn't end. But, you see, even though, yes, this part may very well be the final regular commentary that I do anywhere, what I will at least say is that this is the game I think was probably best for me to end on. End my, at least, regular phase of commentaries for Generation 3 before all the special stuff. And honestly, it feels right. I have always promised to do an RPG. I promised Phantasy Star. I promised Final Fantasy. I promised Front Mission. And I never gave you guys any of that. So I'm happy that I got off my anus for once and finally did something that mattered in the RPG community. This is not my swan song, but this is definitely the beginning of a new era for this channel. So, we got all that we need to. So, what I'm about to do is I'm about to change the frequency to 15 megahertz so I can get the cutscene synchronized properly. And then we have to warp right into the sun. I did not know we had to do this when it first happened, but you know, it's kind of explanatory. Now to read script. A huge structure has warped here from an unknown destination. Length 27,000 meters, height 25,000 meters, estimated mass 1.7 trillion tons. It wasn't built with modern human technology. It seems to be a battleship. I'm not detecting enemy scanners. They likely don't think anyone would attack. We can invade the ship without being caught. And so for the transition for the Star Cruiser to go to Void, I had to switch it back to 16.7, and now we're at 25 megahertz. No matter what the frequency is when you get to this scene, it still pans regularly because this is all sprites. This is all sprite work. None of this at all is pre-rendered. But I am curious as to how long it took to draw this. I mean, my goodness. I mean, this honestly looks lovely. I mean, say all you want about how the base how the Void base in Star Cruiser MD looks. This one is better, in my view. This one just stands out more. But now that we've gotten that cutscene, oh yeah, palette swap from the title screen, by the way, kind of like Encore mode in the view. But yeah, now that we're here on Void, the shock wave, the shock from the warp wave when we went here and warped into the sun, we lost the ancient weapon. So no matter how much you want to kill the final boss with the ancient weapon, you simply cannot. But I'm sure there's somebody who is going to work on a cheat table for this game. And for Star Cruiser Easy Type, come on, let's face it, we're getting Easy Type. That will be the one thing that will stand out. Keeping the ancient weapon when you get on the Void would be so important. And I can only imagine how well speedrunners would be able to use that. I know, because I do at some point intend to record a speedrun of this single segment, but we'll see how that turns out. And, this is an air conditioner. Yeah, that's an air conditioner. Basically, this is the equivalent to, you know those patio heaters that look like this? That's basically what this is, except it produces cold air. So, now we're introduced to the worst enemies of the game, or at least the strongest enemies of this entire game. So, right here, this is Walking Legs 1, but due to me changing the frequency twice to 25 to 15, and then 15 to 16.7, and then back to 25 megahertz, we ended up accidentally having Walking Legs 1 be identified as Duon. The real Duon is is a yellow and orange enemy that is extremely fast. You'll be seeing it momentarily. But yes, that is part of the reason why the name of this part is called Duon It Donkey Style. Duon It Donkey Style is actually kind of a nod to doing it donkey style. You know that bit that Stephen Colbert does on The Late Show? Yes, I know it's Colbert, but legally it's Colbert. It's Colbert. But yeah, Duon it donkey style. This felt to be a proper name for the part. And oh, just got another bomb here. The fortunate thing, however, with all the enemies here on Void is that because of the fact we now have the temporal engine is ideal to handle anything involving... Oh, there's the Duon. The temporal engine is ideal for weapon consumption, so that's why for this particular run, if you are playing at 25 megahertz, do not use any weaker weapon. You will have a hard time beating anybody here with Quantum Gun with Booster 3 or Gravity Gun 1 and 2. And yes, even though Spolon was able to deal with Void with Gravity Gun 2, I don't know how he would handle things at 25 megahertz, assuming he's not playing with the method I'm doing. Remember, I'm playing this on a DualShock 2. If you're playing Star Cruiser at 25 megahertz on keyboard, you're gonna have a hard anus time, no matter how you do it. You will have the hardest anus time doing this. It is brutality at its finest. By the way, can I just mention, I love this kick anus theme. Honestly, Void has probably one of the best tracks in the entire game. Oh, Penzi. Penzi kind of reminds me of a Pez dispenser. You know what? I would not be surprised if that's where the developers got the concept from. Now, another interesting thing that I must mention about, like, when you compare this version of Void to the version that is in Star Cruiser MD, you know, the biggest thing that you have to worry about is the fact that this version has 4 floors, and at the same time, this one, like the one in MD, but nowhere near as bad as how this one handles it. This one handles it very badly. You actually have to pay very close attention to the invisible walls. This is why you need the wall sensor. Don't go into this thinking you don't need it unless you have played this game to death like I have. And because I barely need it at this point. I probably use it if I forget certain areas, but again, I've played Void to death at this point. If you wanted me to speedrun this at 25 megahertz, I happily could. My personal best time was actually my rehearsal, like my second to last rehearsal. No, correction. My last rehearsal before recording this. I was able to do this in about 54 minutes. But I screwed up on the final boss, lost the ducking cargo room, then lost functionality of my weapon. So as a result, I could not use a repair kit, and that was the run. Now, at 10 megahertz, how this game is intended to be played at, you will likely be here, like on your first try, if you don't know where you're going, you might be here for 4 hours. At worst, 2.5 hours. So the fact that I'm playing this at the rate that I am shows exactly how much I had to study this area before doing it proper. And also how important it is to have your resources optimized. Now, in terms of damage output, I think I need to bring up this. Damage output on Void is weird. Some enemies might deliver 1 or 2 units of damage, which is regular. Most higher tier enemies, however, like the Penzis, I think the Penzis do this. I think the Zawans do this too. Your damage output could be as high as 3 or even 4. Now you might notice I'm constantly scanning the Walking Legs ones. There's a reason for that. The reason for that is because I keep thinking that eventually you're gonna get it to say Walking Legs 1, but that ultimately isn't the case. No matter how much I scan them, because I changed the value in RAM when I changed the frequency, and keep in mind that was by freak accident. But yeah, whenever you change the frequency on the Sharp X68000, at least in Type G, if a game is not optimized for RAM dependency, you might end up changing the information that shows for certain enemy details, or even certain weapons and whatnot. So you probably might be able to do some statistical manipulation if you know what you're doing. But as I said, this was purely by accident. Somebody might want to experiment with this. I know that I have done all that I can at this time. But either way, I'm sure that this might make for some nice mods, because again, I do feel that at some point, Sharp X68000 emulation will be optimized where we can do tool-assisted speedruns, and also alongside that, I feel that eventually we'll be able to do easy Sharp X68000 game modding. And what better way to start than with a full-on disassembly of Star Cruiser? Because I would love to see what fans or just casual modders of this game would deliver for all the character models, just all the designs in general. I would also love to see what kind of music you folks could produce with the YM2151. It would definitely be very fun to listen to, and who knows? Who knows? Maybe we will get that Dragon Ball mod, or Star Wars, or, I don't know, Star Cruiser 2 ported over to this. Maybe even a hypothetical Star Cruiser 3 if we don't get it on RSDK. Or who knows, maybe even Star Fox 1 and 2 could get some love. Anything to give this console, video game development workstation any form of serious attention. Actually, speaking of which, one thing I have also wanted to do at some point, once I master coding, is to port NBA Jam to the Sharp X68000. Both Jam and Jam TE, and hardware limits permitting, because I know that you can probably put a CD, you can put a compact disc on this, or maybe and if not this, then I'll probably work with the FM Towns. Hardware permitting. Hang time. I probably might want to do hang time as well. But the issue with this is that the Sharp X68000 only comes with one unit of YM2151. It does not come with dual YM2151 support, to my knowledge. So, what I would basically have to do is ultimately modify the whole ducking motherboard of the Sharp X68000 just to get another YM2151 to work. But in order for it to work, you would have to do some other arbitrary stuff too, right? Wouldn't you have to add extra details? Yeah, extra lines of code. I know what I'm saying. Now we're locked there. We are locked off there, so there's not much we can do. But those yellow towers you saw, that was Zawan. Now, there also is another thing. Not only that, but some of the Zawans happen to use the Lesdario Arena and an AI set, even though it's 3 units of enemy that you're fighting instead of 2. The issue is this. Some Zawans are known as Walking Legs 2. This ultimately meant that there was a much more bigger anus spider than this. This ultimately meant that there were 3 versions of Walking Legs, but I'm assuming that probably due to data limitations, they probably couldn't get in the extra models. Which again, if Star Cruiser got a port to RSDK, you bet your anus that I will make sure that somehow gets in there. That the Walking Legs 2 has official artwork and an official model. Man, the things I would do for this game, no two ways about it. Because again, Star Cruiser is an underrated gem. No two ways. Again, no two ways about it. I know what I'm saying. This game had to wait 31 years for a localization, not including the MD retelling. That is too long for any game to ever get a localization. And I probably wouldn't be surprised if there are other Japanese exclusive games out there, or even European exclusive games that have never seen any light in the US. It is depressing whenever we have a game such as this that has so much quality and love for its time, and it just doesn't have the attention here in the US because either of botched localizations or just nobody wanted to localize it. But then again, I am brought into curiosity because I don't know how well the NEC PC 8800, 9800, Sharp X1 Turbo, and Sharp X 68000 are in the US. I don't know what their presence is here. I don't know how popular they are. I don't know how much dedication the English-speaking audience has been able to give these computers since their original launch and discontinuations. But I do feel that these communities definitely do need to be expanded far more beyond what they have had. And if we don't have that, then, you know, games such as Star Cruiser just won't get the attention that they rightfully deserve. Now, by the way, you're noticing that all the energy refills here are either 5,000 or 10,000. 10,000, of course, will refill an entire energy tank. This is how things are supposed to go. No, but I do feel that you still don't have enough energy if you're just doing this casually. That's the final energy tank, by the way. We are now at our maximum, 60,000. And yes, as I said, it's not like Tails Adventure, where if you got the last Chaos Emerald, your health would go from 60 to 99. Nope. Once you get this 5th energy tank, that's it. There are no more energy tanks to get. It's not like Tails Adventure where there is a 6th Chaos Emerald, and then we could, you know, up our energy to 99,999. That would be the ideal scenario. But, you know, that's just not the case here. You know, now that I think of it, because you know how you have to constantly go and get gate keys in order to unlock different gates within this big labyrinth of a location? Because it just hit me. In many respects, the way that Star Cruiser handles its dungeons is kind of similar in some aspects, not all, to both The Legend of Zelda: The Hyrule Fantasy and the original Phantasy Star, where you needed keys to open doors and gates. But the way that they do it here is a bit faster, more efficient, and helps make the game feel significantly more exploratory than it has to. The only downside is you don't have a big anus map that you can constantly look at, as how it is in in the Hyrule Fantasy. And in Phantasy Star, you don't get a map at all, except for probably the overworld. Not sure about the original Phantasy Star. I don't think 2 had that either. 3 to some degree had it, and I think 4 did as well. At the end of the Millennium... Oh, no. I think what happened with the end of the Millennium was that Phantasy Star 4, it had that, I think, in beta development, but I don't think it had it outright. By the way, once we get to here, then we're able to get some quick refills on fuel if we need to, and some repair kits, but we can't carry anymore. Going up will give you an immediate refill on your fuel. Wait, no, wait. The head up or down? I do not know if I had it up or down. But either way, no, actually no. I think this is the bottom floor. I know what I did. I know what I did. I saved that floor just in case if I needed to get any extra fuel. But as for the other stuff to expect here on Void, now you have warp points and you have elevators. The best way for me to put it is this. Do not use the warp points. Unless if you know which ones will take you to fuel refills. Because some of them will warp you back to the first floor. And if you go back to the first floor, you are bound to waste, and I cannot stress enough, waste about 30,000 units of energy on the enemies that are down there. That's right, because you have to deal with a whole bunch of walking legs ones, you have to deal with a whole bunch of bombs and Duons, and even the very lone Zawan. So that's why you will see me use a save state here at some point when I accidentally warp down to the first floor. Because again, while I could show off that portion, it ultimately doesn't matter if I go down there, because it's not like there's, after you get the energy tank, it's not like there's any extra gates you have to unlock on the first floor. It's not as if you're going to be getting any extra hidden items or upgrades. Once you have the final energy tank, that's it. You're done. You are all set. Now let's see. Is this Zawan or is it Walking Legs 2? Walking Legs 2. Yeah, and as you can tell, there are 3 of them. Now Zawan, the Zawan can be very aggressive. And again, they do pack a punch. So make sure that these guys don't gang up on you. The fortunate thing, however, is at least if you get stuck in the corner, for example, the benefit about Zawan is actually their very big hitbox. Because they are so large. They are so large that you never have to worry about getting blockaded by them. They can actually get stuck in the corners with the blue walls, and you can easily land a quick kill. That is assuming, however, that you have Gravity Gun 3. If you're using Gravity Gun 1 or 2, you probably might have a harder time. By the way, I'm sure that there's going to be somebody out there too. Once speedrunning for Star Cruiser becomes common practice, where somebody will try to beat Void, or at least the boss. No, I'll try to do the boss rush. But somebody will try to beat Void in single segment on the Atom Gun. Atom Gun Booster 1. Or maybe even no booster for all that matter. I would love to see somebody try to beat this without the booster, with the Atom Gun, and see if they can survive. But no, if I'm going to do Atom Gun, I probably might do Atom Gun Booster 3. I probably might do Quantum Gun Booster 3. I'll probably try to beat I'll probably try to at least just do the boss rush on all the harder weapon presets. Mind you, it won't be easy, and it might not look pretty, but I'm sure that it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Might require a lot of retries, but I don't care. I don't care, so long as we're all enjoying ourselves. Alright, time to destroy some air conditioners. Because, I don't know if you know, but in order to get rid of areas... in order to get rid of big-ass ships like this, you have to let the place heat up. You have to let it blow to smithereens. You have to make sure that heat keeps rising up. Oh wait, didn't I just say that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I take no shame in saying I repeated what I just said. I'm not from the country, so I honestly don't know why, because again, it honestly does feel a bit weird sometimes emulating a southern accent, or even, well then again, you are talking to somebody who, behind the scenes, constantly does voice acting as Cleveland Brown. Yep, I vocalize as Cleveland Brown. I play as Gary Anthony Williams' version of Uncle Ruckus, no relation. It's as if there's nothing we can do, except for looking at this very thing right here. What is this? It's Star Cruiser, Uncle Ruckus. Oh, really? Well then, who made these? Aliens? These aliens gotta be destroyed. Hold up, Ruckus. What kind of aliens are we talking about? I'm talking about the one with tentacles. You know the tentacle boys. Tentacle boys? What are you talking about? Oh, no. Sorry, Ruckus, I gotta take this. I think I know where I just landed. I just landed in where I'm not supposed to go. Yeah. Actually, hold up a second. Why am I doing this segment here? I would have thought that I would use a... You know what? I think it's because... you see, the thing is... You know how sometimes when you unlock a gate, how multiple locks might open up? That's what's happening here. That's ultimately what's happening here. Because I forget if the gate that I'm about to get, if the gate key I'm about to, what is this? Gate E, right? It's either Gate E or Gate M or one of them. It's one of those letters, or probably another letter that I'm not talking over right now. Minded the unavoidable damage. So let's see. Let's get to this Duon. And once we do that, well, the fortunate thing is there is a free refill here, so no pressure. Yeah, Gate E. I honestly don't remember if there is another area where Gate E has to be worried about on the higher floors. So, you know, that's kind of why I came back here, why I wanted to warp down. Because, again, I didn't know if I had to worry about Gate E. But as I said, I want to make sure that I clean house in this space as much as possible. Speaking of cleaning house, I ultimately don't know how I will be doing this storage upgrade. Because, again, I don't have the necessary funds that I need to in order to do my H370 compromise with the Hewlett-Packard Pavilion 590P0057C. Because I'm contemplating on what exactly I need to do here. Because I'm taking a look at Amazon, I'm looking at Newegg, eBay, and you know the Radeon RX 580, the Radeon RX 580 8GB1, which is the mini ITX variant of the 580. I'm at least happy that you can find a 580 of this magnitude for roughly about $124.99. There's even an RX 590 from Yeston for $92.11 on eBay. So you probably might know which one I'm talking about. It's a lovely shade of Kelsey Evans purple, and you got the lovely shades of silver, gray, and black. It's a triple fan, but that of course is for ATX builds. There is a copper or dark gold looking Gigabyte mini ITX 2070 for $419.99. The Intel Core i9-9900 no suffix. Oh yeah, last night, the 9900 no suffix on Amazon was going for $480.98. Literally $4 and a penny less than the 9900K. You couldn't find any variant of it for $440 for a good long while. Oh my goodness. And let's see, and as for storage, if I can't opt for an 8TB drive, I'll probably have to opt for a 4TB Iron Wolf drive running it. Oh no. That's a 5900 RPM drive. No, okay, so I do have to go with 7200 RPM Iron Wolf. So yeah, I will have to go for the $219 8TB drive. If for some reason I can't opt for 16 terabytes. Because again, I want to make sure I have enough storage to last me up until the end of 2027. But because I'm working in HD, that's going to be a bit of a brutality issue. So I'm going to probably have to invest in multiple Iron Wolf drives. But as for what I'm contemplating at this time, under my current funds, I could probably opt for a Barracuda SSD. And fortunately, to current knowledge, Toshiba and Samsung work on the hardware for the Barracuda SSDs. So yeah, so Seagate, the Seagate Barracuda SSD likely is good to have. But according to what some IT professionals mentioned, at least in the Amazon reviews, know how to clone your drives. That is extremely important regardless if you're using Windows, Macintosh, or Linux. Yes, I know some people say Linux, but I say Linux. I grew up with it as Linux, and I will keep saying it for many years on end. The only issue that I have, however, with the way that Barracuda SSDs are handled, now, in order to compete with the Samsung Evo 860, I think, 1 terabyte Barracuda SSD goes for $129.99, but with free shipping. The 2 terabyte drive, however, is $273.99. Why would you pay roughly $274? Because here's the thing. Like, for example, the 250 gigabyte drive is $50. So I would think that 2 terabytes should go for $200 or $179.99 at least the Barracuda level. Once you're opting for Nitro or Iron Wolf SSD, that's when you're really going to start having to pay out the big bucks. So at this time, probably the biggest bargain for your money is a 1 terabyte SSD, either from Samsung, either the Samsung, the 860 or 960 if you can find out, or 980 or whatever it's called, or at least the Barracuda 1 terabyte variant. Don't try going for higher denomination unless if your budget can handle it. And oh no, we're low on energy, brothers. We are low on energy. I don't want to have to use my deuter ores. I do not want to have to use my deuter ores. I want to save those for the boss rush. And let me just have you guys keep in mind, I was able to save my deuter ores for the boss rush in my rehearsal. So I didn't lose. So when I lost the cargo room, I did not lose my energy. I had more than enough to suffice. But yeah, I think I might have to use this because we are way too low on energy to survive here. But you know, that's fine. That's fine. But as I said regarding the deuter ores, even though you can hold up to 99, if you use all 99, what's gonna happen is this. You will only be able to refill your 5 energy tanks, but you won't be able to refill the last one, if that makes sense. You can only refill, I think, about 49,500 units of energy, if memory serves correctly. Because I think every deuter ore accommodates for 500 units, or something around that number. Can't exactly remember at this time, but I'm sure that somebody out there knows what I'm talking about, and they'll be able to clarify. Now, the one thing I have to admit that I appreciate about the way that Void is handled artistically, yeah, from an artistic standpoint, this palette feels right, because, I mean, you got your red, white, and blue on the higher floors, making it feel a bit American. In America. I like to take down Void aliens because I'm an American. I love Bandit Keith and Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. It's been a while since I've watched Yu-Gi-Oh! TAS. So yeah, wishfully, if that series is still ongoing, I could catch up. again, it's been a while. It's been a long while. Actually, I want to say over a year and change, or probably roughly 2 years since I've actually watched any episodes. In fact, but then again, I don't know how many episodes have been released since the Orichalco saga, because I don't know if Dawn of the Duel is being done. I don't know if Capsule Monsters is or has been done yet. But again, that's just at the time of this recording. I'll check that after I'm done recording this. Actually, no, screw it. Let's do it right now. It's like I've got all the time in the world. I've got all the time in the world before this is done. So yeah, let's just go and take a look. So what episodes do we have here? Yep, Little Karibo, my man. Little Karibo watches Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Oh my goodness. I don't know how to feel about that. So, while I'm exploring... So, from the looks of it... Okay, so there are a good amount of episodes that I can watch right now. Episode 82, Bullseye, appears to be the most recent one, at least on YouTube. I don't know if Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series actually is available on an somewhere off-site. Kind of like how, because you might remember, for Dragon Ball Z, the Abridged series, you know the folks at Team 4-Star, they had to do that. That ultimately was necessary, just in case if any copyright issues happened. Like I think with what happened in 2016, it was either 2016 or 2017 when they had to make that mini program about fair use. That was serious. Oh hey, yep. See, I told you. I know how to preserve my fuel in this game. I know how to preserve my fuel on Void. Again, you can really stock up on energy here when you know what you're doing. But it all comes down to clever strategy. Don't think you're gonna come into Void and expect to have an easy time on... why did it just skip like that? Oh, no. We got stuck we're back at the entrance, but you know what? That's fine. That's perfectly fine. We don't have to worry. Now, you might notice I'm not taking these routes where the enemies are. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. It's a waste of time and a waste of energy. So just go this way. Also, by the way, I don't know if I don't know if you probably noticed at the beginning, but as it probably said, if I showed it off, you cannot go back into space until you are done here on Void. Same thing in Star Cruiser MD. So once you get to here, there is nothing more you can do. So make sure to hope to duck that you restocked on all your items, because that's why I decided to restock on my homing missiles, because you'll need them for the final section, at least so you don't run out of energy. What is going on here? Why is this video skipping? No, just so folks at home understand, what is happening here is this is an issue with VLC Media Player. This has nothing to do with what's going on your end. Flash of grid. Okay. You know what? I think this might be an issue with RAM, because I've got a lot of long videos here. Let's see. Let me take out parts 5 to 7, Chanda Unique Potato Roast, and Sonic Adventure 4 in the playlist. Okay. That will probably save me a bit on RAM. What is my RAM looking like? 11.3? Remember, I've only got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 running at 2666. So, yeah, you know what? Hold up. I'm gonna need to close out some stuff. So, let me close out Vegas. I might need to close out some tabs. So let's see what I can close. You know what? I've got all my shopping stuff bookmarked, so yeah, I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about that for now. So that's dealt with. The two graphics cards are dealt with. 9900 is dealt with. Barracuda. Not Barracuda. Iron Wolf hard drive is dealt with. Barracuda SSD is dealt with. Okay, good. That will save me. That was a full gig of RAM. 1 full gigabyte of RAM was all of that. That was insane. You know, I think for the time being, I could probably also close, Oh, looks like PNY is doing another Watch to Win giveaway. Another Puget System... Wait, is this Puget System or Origin PC? Nope, it's Origin PC. So, yep, comes with an RTX 4000. Sounds like it's up for my needs. Hey, if I can get into any kind of giveaway, I will do it as I see fit. So, from the looks of this, so this comes with a Corsair 550X CX power supply, the ASRock Z390 Phantom Gaming ITX motherboard. Let's see, Origin Frostbite 120 sealed liquid cooling system. The Origin PCI Performance Ultra Slim fans. The 9600K, meaning it'll be very upgradable. Let's see. Only one unit of NVIDIA Quadro RTX 4000. 16 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance at 3000 megahertz, wishfully upgradable to 32, so I could just recycle my old RAM cards. Of course, a 960 gigabyte SSD with a 2 terabyte Origin PC approved hard drive. Windows 10 Home, which I'll upgrade to Enterprise. 1-year warranty with 45-day free shipping. And Origin Recovery USB 3.0 flash drive. Okay. The actual retail price of this is $2,286. And the contest ends on Halloween. That's right. The final Mercury retrograde when it begins. Okay, so why is this still having... This is jumping all over the ducking place today. You know what? It probably might be my codec. It might actually be the codec. So let's see. Yeah, set it to automatic. Because again, I really don't like when something like this happens when I'm talking over a commentary. The last times that this happened were during Sonic the Hedgehog CD 1993. During Royameadow 16, and also during my Royameadow 16 commentary of Side Pocket 2 MD. That was insane. That was insane for something such as that to happen completely out of the blue. And for it to be happening constantly with this part. But then again, Mercury is still technically in the retrograde zone. So, no harm, no foul. It's all understandable. But you know, we got 32 minutes and 54 seconds left. I was going to say 57 when it was at 32:57, so I got into the 7 hand. But I missed my opportunity. So yeah, after this, I'll probably be enjoying The Young and the Restless and The Bold and the Beautiful. Wishfully, we end up having Philip Chancellor IV finally show up in the plot. But in terms of The Bold and the Beautiful, Thomas is on the run. Oh, I can only imagine what will happen then. But you know, The Bold and the Beautiful, the Bold and the Beautiful is probably the worst of the daytime soap operas right now, just because of the fact that, like, for example, the way that they handled episodes where they constantly said the word secret. How many? I had to count the amount of times. It was unbearable. It was unbearable having to constantly hear the word secret for so many, for such a long time. regarding the Beth saga. So I'm glad that that's finally coming to a close, since we're coming into the end of the production season for fiscal year 2019. But what I will also mention too is this. The Bold and the Beautiful, in my view, has too much filler content for a series that only has episodes that are 18 to 18 to 18 and a half minutes. This is ultimately why the Bold and the Beautiful has to become a 60-minute, without commercials, 60-minute with commercials, program. At least have the episodes be 37 to 42 minutes in length. Or, if you can present it with limited commercials, 51 minutes, like how the Orville Season 2 does. Because, back in the day, we didn't have to worry about having 23 minutes worth of commercials. We never had to worry about that. Because all the episodes were long. Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Good amount of those episodes are roughly about 25 to 27 minutes long, because Alfred made sure that that seasons 1 to 7 had only 1 minute station breaks. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour, of course, has a respectable amount of time for commercials, but that's just to be expected because, you don't expect the Alfred Hitchcock Hour to be, ridiculously close to 1 hour all the ducking time. But either way, you can see where this is going. Now, I think I have to do a roundabout here. Now, make a save state here. This is where I was talking about. Do not go down this warp area, because you're gonna just warp straight to... You'll see. Oh, no, wait, no, I think this took me to the other way around. Or, no, I was right. Took you back to the first floor. That's why I made the save state. I had to remember for a second. I'm like, I know I warped to the first floor, but I couldn't remember exactly where on the first floor. So, what am I doing here? Am I looking for the invisible wall? I think I'm looking for an invisible wall that's not there. But I know exactly where I have to go at this point. Beyond this point, I think it's just going to be the final sections. Yeah, the final sections, and then we reach the final part of the first floor. That's right, the boss... You know what? I think it's about time I mention. We're about to have a boss rush. Yep. Like any good RPG... Actually, no. None of our RPGs do boss rushes. At least of this era. At least of the late 80s. But, like the Rockman franchise before it, you have to deal with a boss rush. And man, does it feel good. It feels so good to do the boss rush in this game, because every single one of the bosses in this game gave you hell. Oh no. I screwed up. Gotta warp back. Yeah, see, that was my fault. That was my own ducking fault. But yeah, as I said, when it comes to the situation regarding the boss rush, because of the fact you have the temporal engine, you have homing missile 3. Not homing missile 3. No, actually, no. I don't know if the homing missiles actually work on the boss fights. But the fortunate thing about the issues regarding the boss rush is that because you have the strongest weapons and resources in the game now, Gravity Gun 3 and Temporal Engine, as well as 40 units of shield, you're not going to be getting bodied. Yeah, you won't be getting bodied by these guys as quickly as how you might have back in the day. And by back in the day, I probably mean a matter of hours ago. Wow, we're already roughly 52 and a half minutes in. And we're still going. I am kind of curious. Now, you see, there are no windows, at least in this portion of Void. So I am actually kind of curious as to what time of day it is. I'm extremely curious as to what time of day it is, because at this point it feels like it's supposed to be nighttime, but again, it's space. You're out in space. Well, technically we warped into the sun. So yeah, for all that we know, it could be daytime, it could be nighttime, or could be just somewhere in between. By the way, speaking of in between, I was actually quite surprised when Kate Fairbanks came out with her track, The In-Between, because The In-Between, both it and the NBC series of the same name came out 5 days within each other. What I initially thought was that The In-Between by Kate would have been a track that you would have been listening to during NBC's The In-Between, but apparently, according to what we can tell, this is probably just a mere coincidence. However, had Kate Fairbanks been around in the 80s and 90s, when internet was, well, 80s to early to mid-90s, like anytime between 1981 and 1996, if The In-Between had come out back then, obviously it would have sounded so different from what we have now, but people would have thought that had the NBC series of the same name had it come out during that time frame, I know for a fact that there would have been somebody saying, hey, this song is based on this show, or this show is based on this song. Only for them to find out that the song is not a part of the show one single bit. But the reason why I do love NBC's The In-Between, it is the first real time that we've had anything pertaining to Ghost Whisperer, or Cold Case, or Medium. We haven't had a show with this template, or at least closer to Medium and Ghost Whisperer as opposed to Cold Case. We haven't had a show like this in roughly, I want to say, 8 years, because after Medium ended around the same time that Bob's Burgers came out. I think actually on the same week or month that Bob's Burgers launched. And from there, there just hasn't been, any kind of real good ghost shows on regular television, or anything involving the spirit world. So that's also why I'm kind of rooting for Evil. Evil, which is coming out later this year, I think in late quarter 3 on CBS, or sometime maybe in quarter 4. I can only imagine how things will go. Now we have arrived at the back door. This right here, so I'm making a save state here because I honestly forgot where I was supposed to go here. So yeah, you can go down, and once we get to here, this is where the really heavy stuff starts to show itself. So we have a whole bunch of Walking Legs 1s that we have to deal with. In fact, there is an entire hall of Walking Legs 1s that we have to deal with. You'll understand what I'm talking about once we reach the top floor. The only reason why I'm hanging out here is because I have to unlock some gates. But once we're done here, then, the rest... then we'll be on our way to the boss rush. The interesting thing about this boss rush, too, is that you actually have to fight the bosses in exact order. Kind of like how the original Rockman handled it, too. It's not like how Rockman 2 and then the X and Zero series handle it, where you can just fight whichever boss you want. Nope, that's not how we do things here in the Star Cruiser household. Nope, you have to fight them in exact order, or else you will be at risk of perishing. Yeah, I think we'll run out of that 15,000 units of energy with the quickness. The only thing is, will I still have enough? Will I still have enough to handle some extra tasks before going to the boss rush? Well, actually, no. The fortunate thing is, see, this is why I told you, keep your dang missiles. Keep your missiles. Because once you start getting to, like, the final few enemies of the game, you don't even have to worry about using up your Gravity Gun 3. Oh, I know where we are. We are at the, what is this? This is the air conditioner center, right? Yes. All right. Now, here's what we have to do. We have to move a whole bunch of air conditioners. That's right. Just destroy all of them. But you know what? I think this was actually a climate control room. I think that's why all of these are here. So, if this were Star Cruiser MD, which is very temperature-based, I know for a fact that this area would start heating up. You'd see the temperature rise. And remember, if the temperature in Star Cruiser MD rises to the maximum, what will happen is Brian will perish. There's nothing you can do about that. Kind of a shame, but you know, it's to be expected. It's to be expected in a Star Cruiser of a different form factor and different battle template. Is that the best way to put it? Because ultimately, the Star Cruiser in MD, it fights very differently. And it's probably because of the weapons that you can use. Because again, you don't have the same weapons as how in this game it is. You don't have the atom gun. You just have the regular, you have a regular shot, then that shot turns into a string beam, which technically is supposed to be the quantum gun. And then later on, you end up getting the gravity beam, which doesn't do anything to enemies, but is mandatory. The gravity beam is not like the gravity gun. Oh, and by the way, this is actually where you go to I think, unlock the final gate. And this is actually where you can get some free fuel if you need it. So, yeah, go here if you need to. Go to that warp. Alright, so from here, just follow where I'm going. You'll know exactly what to do now. And then in Star Cruiser MD, there's the power shot. The power shot is an auto charger. It automatically charges up energy so that you can then deliver a very serious death blow. But it is one of those use at your own risk situations because the power shot is basically Star Cruiser MD's H shot. It has very hard accuracy, which means that you will have trouble. You will have trouble landing the attack. And from there, oh, I know. All right, so this is actually when it is mandatory for you to warp back to the bottom. So once you warp back to the bottom here, all you have to do now is just go back to the main elevator, refill on fuel if you still need to, and then from there, all you have to worry about is what is it? Just go to the 4th floor. Go to the 4th floor. I think at this point, all the gates have been unlocked. You can then finally get ready for endgame, for true endgame. Again, this has a snitching theme. Yep, see? Final gate is unlocked, so now we can do what we have to. So make a save state here, be on your way. But yeah, I do intend to make a remix of at least the end part. The part that sounds like it's ducking breaker solo at the end of the loop. I'll use that for yeah, you'll probably hear it at the end of this. At the end of this, or probably even for part 7's intermission if I already did it. So yeah, it'll basically be the escape variant of Void's theme, which amazingly it doesn't have a rock style escape theme. I would have thought that they would have had a track like that, but no. Now there actually is an unused track in Star Cruiser. The name of the song, if my memory serves correctly, is called 19. It's available in the PC 8800 version in both its YM2608 and YM2203 variants. And I don't know if the other builds of the game also have it, but they might. The SharpX 68000 port might have it in the data. Somebody data mine this game, please. Now you saw that walking legs one I killed. That's the only one you have to destroy, because the gate key is right here. And if my memory serves correctly, what we're about to unlock is Gate A, right? Yes. So once you unlock Gate A, that's it. All you have to do now is focus on the following. Defeat these final Pensies here, and you probably might also need to defeat a Duon. But once you do that, hightail it to the left-hand side, and then take the warp on the right-hand path. If you take any other, you will warp back to an undisclosed area or the beginning. But now that we're here, we are on the final portion of the first floor. This is where the boss rush will take place. But we have some other things we have to get. We have to unlock some gates. Gotta Duon it donkey style. You know, for an episode called Duon it donkey style, I am not talking a lot about democratic politics or progressive politics. That's ultimately the reason why I called it Duon it donkey style in the first place, aside from the fact that the Walking Legs one was accidentally called Duon. But either way, so once you unlock Gate D, then you have to head back and then go on the path that I show. But now that we're pretty much at endgame, spam your missiles. Spam your missiles, and don't care if they miss. Just make sure that they are. Just make sure that you splurge on it. Just get rid of every single one. Exhaust your homing missile 1, 2, and 3. Exhaust your 8-shot 1, 2, and 3. Leave no missile behind. Now, once you get to here, this is the point of no return. There is nowhere else you can go here except for the hidden areas that are in this building. I mean in this building. In this part of the base. But again, once you're done here, once you are done here, the boss rush will be present. I think you have to still unlock gates B and C. So, worry none. Worry none. You'll be almost done with this. Yeah, apparently Zawans don't like homing missiles. So, I mean, you could kill them with homing missile 1, but it's just not beneficial. So just use your gravity gun 3. Just hope to duck you don't have to exhaust all your energy. Like how I am here. Wow, can't you get an easy shot on this one? This one is relentless. I mean, this one wants to make sure that it avoids your shot. So I guess this is where homing missile 2 comes into, or just exhaust the rest of your missiles for homing missile 1, and then we can deal with 2 and 3. So either way. But once you get here, if you still have your deuter ores, make sure to use them, but do not use them immediately, because there are a lot of opportunities to refill your fuel. And once you do so, you'll pretty much be fine. You'll pretty much be fine for the remainder of this, story. Wow, 13 minutes to go, but not all of that's plot. So, move these air conditioners. You'll find yourself 20,000 units of energy. Then go all the way around, because I think there is a gate you need to unlock here. And, yep, this is basically where you can deal with the remainder of the Duons, the Pensies. I think we're all set with Walking Legs 1 at this point, so... yeah. Oh, dang! See, this is why I don't like the speedrun methods that I use sometimes. Because, oh my goodness, that was horrible. That was a horrible waste of weapon. And then just watch how quickly homing missile 3 takes down the Zawans. Oh my goodness. Yeah, speedrunners will probably be using that as their tactic. So let's see. So got the remaining. I guess I'm just feeling a bit out of it, but no pressure. So we got all we need here. So now that we've done this, we now need to head. Oh, dang it! I missed where I need to go. So again, our energy is maxed out. We're fine. But there is one more gate that you have to unlock. And it is actually hidden behind the invisible walls that we just missed. It's a big wall of blue. There is an area with pillars that will also be essential to the end of the game. And that area will be important for you in order to... Well, one, you're going to need to get out of there. Once we're done here, let me warn you right now, it's actually going to be a bit Metroid style. You know something? Metroid in its own right was kind of, open land. You can go virtually almost anywhere you could, provided you had the proper resources. And that's kind of the situation here. Yeah, that's Gate C. So you have to head back over here and then go through this, then head south. Final gate, so Gate C is there. There are the pillars. Now, if you scan this pillar, if you hit move, it'll say nothing happened. But it'll have a small pause, meaning that that's actually the pillar that you need to deal with. And yep, you can scan walls even diagonally. I wanted to show off that just to show that, yeah, there are some coordinates glitches here, and that's actually how you can accidentally run into some enemies, even if they're not on screen or if you didn't technically touch them. It's all hitbox detection, baby. But yeah, Metroid, when I think of how the Metroid franchise is held up, at least 2D Metroid, yeah, it is kind of similar in many respects. You have a lot of areas you can go to, you have a lot of areas you can stock up on, and there are areas where you have a time limit to escape. So yeah, this game is basically everything we grew up with in one. But now, ladies and gentle people, it's time for the boss rush. Make sure you have all your energy, unavoidable damage there. Now it's time for Cutty Sark. Cutty Sark as a land battle is ridiculously easy, but Cutty Sark is actually pretty aggressive. So make sure you are facing Jacunaya's ship as much as possible. And then Mahaku Row. Now I think Mahaku Row shows up on the AI of these bosses. I think they show up on the right. Some will show up on the right, some will show up on the left. I think usually, though, they'll show up on the right in this boss rush. Then you have Crimson Scorpion. But in here, Dan's ship is known as Red Scorpion. But with Gravity Gun 3, I mean, watch how fast this goes down. I mean, because again, Gravity Gun 3 does pack a punch. And then we can now fight proper Amazonas. Amazonas is actually rather easy to take on even with Gravity Gun 3. So even if I didn't use the Ancient Gun, the fight would have been done with the quickness. But then there's also don't refill. But then there is Barnard's Hawk. So taking down Joshua Ackroyd once again as a land battle. This is actually extremely fast because Barnard's Hawk doesn't have that much health, and because he'll always try to face you, there's nothing much you really have to worry about. You can just take him down. Take him down in a few seconds. But then you have this. This is the final boss. Ladies and gentle people, meet the Dark Champion. The hardest boss in the entire game, and rightfully so. The Dark Champion disguises himself as Boyd Max, or Max Boyd in this case. Oh, cut the crap, and drop this masquerade. I already know who you are. So yep, even though they look like a humanoid alien hybrid, this is the real design of the Dark Champion. Now, I tried using missiles, I tried using 8-shot. Stick with Gravity Gun 3 with this fight. There is no other reason to be using anything else. And you see how fast the shield goes down? Every shot here is 9 units of damage. If you were only playing this with the base shield, with the regular shield at the beginning of the game, you would be done for here. Kind of reminds me of, remember Joshua Adams' Big Tips Adventure Run? Where he did, he tried to beat it with 2 hearts, wood sword, silver arrow. Did I say red potion? And yeah, some of the other, 2 hearts, wood sword, red potions, and silver arrow with shiny. I haven't listened to Big Dip Rage in a long time. I miss that track. It's a great track. Lovely cover of Poker Face. It honestly does make Big Dip on a Bus probably what it is today. No two ways about it. So now it's time for that lovely Metroid-style escape, which again is part of the reason why I feel bad we don't have, an escape track. All we have is the main theme of Void. That's why I do intend to do the escape mix at some point. But yeah, you have 500 counts to get out of here. So how do you get out of here? Remember all those pillars? Just go there. Go there, and then push the left pillar. That's the only one you can deal with here. Once you're done with that, these gates right here, they're all about to get exploded by a time bomb. You will find out who the time bomb user is now. Remember that DG fellow that we've been seeing all throughout the course of the intel? Well, we're about to get him right here. You finally did it, Brian. I knew you'd make it. Who the hell are you? Are you that DG? Oh, come on. Don't tell me you didn't get these initials. It's me, of course. Who else would you expect? Dolce & Gabbana? That joke won't get it. You! But how? I killed you with my own hands. Oh, don't flatter yourself with the thoughts that you could kill me that easily. Why the hell did you do this, though? There were some moles in Federal Patrol I wanted to expose, so I had to disappear and work undercover. And it looks like I was able to do that well enough. Well, I guess. Still, you're an anus hole! I was really upset! We can discuss this later, don't you think? You're right. It will be really hot here very soon. Thanks for saving my anus. Let's get out of here. And also, this is why I didn't get the 5,000 recharge there. Just in case if you ran out of energy during the boss rush, you probably might need that, so once you're done, just to get back to the ship, and that's it. That's the game. So, Brian didn't kill, Gibson. Gibson faked his death. And now the Void is dead. It's all over. This game is finally done. There's not much of anything else I have to do here. But man, does it feel right to finish my first role-playing game commentary proper. 11 hours, roughly, of some of the greatest talking. Probably not the best. This is far from my best. But, this is kind of on par with some of the stuff I delivered in Sonic Hacking Contest 13 Done Quick and Side Pocket 2. I can get used to this. What am I saying? I've been doing this for years! But either way, as my last regular commentary, at least schedules permitting, this, I feel, is probably the best proper way to end this entire story, because Generation 3 has had a lot of good material, but I have tried to find that one thing that stands out. The one commentary to go above and beyond. Shaq Fu definitely did do that, and Side Pocket 2, I still have the remainder of the Legend of the Hustler commentary to do, which will come in Modern Legacy. But Star Cruiser serves as the basis, the template for what to expect of me in the years to come. There is nothing else that could show a better sense of my production format. So, you know, I'll be promoting my affiliates, I'll be promoting friends and colleagues, and, you know, those that I do have a key interest in. You know, you're still going to be getting the good wallpapers, you'll be getting dynamics, you'll be getting more station IDs, more mashup mixes, everything. Everything I have built up to now has come to this. And, you know, as I listen to Distant Space, the ending theme here, only got 80 more seconds, at least before the end of the footage, I cannot thank not just you folks here who are viewing, not just those I've grown up with all up to now, but just everybody that I know. I owe a lot to everybody for all the creativity that I've been able to deliver. And, you know what, as a good gift, here's what it looks like to go through this at 100 megahertz. No lag, just lovely fluidity at 60 frames per second. But you see how fast it goes? That's why I could never play this at 100 megahertz. This would just be too straight. This would be straight up just too brutal. I would not wish for anybody to RTS this at 100 megahertz, not without grinding for 23 million like I did. You might need to refill your resources and feel much more, unless you're doing a task. But either way, you know, with everything I've had to do up to now, everything I've had to go through to get to this point, this commentary I feel is the best way to end stuff for Generation 3. So if I don't have anything else on my agenda, I'm at least happy to say that I could get this dealt with. And even if there is nothing more to come from me, you know, during September, if nothing comes until October 2, during Royameadow's 20th anniversary, then so be it. So be it. I'm grateful for at least even making this commentary. This is the first commentary for Star Cruiser in the English-speaking demographic. Yes, I know there is footage of Star Cruiser MD out there, as I've mentioned before. Even though, yeah, that was done in full on YouTube, there is no commentary to it. And elsewhere, Star Cruiser has been completed in the SharpX68, PC8800 and SharpX68000 versions by Ichiro Tanaka for the Japanese demographic and Spolan Sergei for the Russian demographic, with some hints of English here and there, thanks to Celsion and also Spolan himself. So, this alongside with Spolan's Russian commentary of the PC8800 Star Cruiser, this ultimately does make the superfecta. This is the superfecta of this era of the game. Well, if the other ports end up getting coverage at some point, you know, wishfully, you know, at least the PC8800, 9800, and SharpX1 ports may perhaps even get some form of a, let's say, you know, because the English translation I think it could be moved over to the others, but I don't know how long that'll take. So, for the time being, just take the SharpX68000 port, enjoy that translation. You can get it from Nebulous Translations. It's linked down in the description. And speaking of that mid-eye compatibility that I mentioned in part 1, I had the wrong Roland Sound Canvas chip in mind. It was the Roland SC88 series, not the SC55. Though I think it probably could run SC55 if you know what you're doing. But again, I don't know how to do Sound Canvas emulation on Star Cruiser. So, who knows? Maybe eventually, like, if I decide to do a Royameadow Modern Legacy entry for Star Cruiser on the SharpX68000 port, that might be something I might just do. Because I have listened to some of the SC88 stuff for the SharpX68000 port, and it sounds beautiful! It sounds dark and beautiful. Nowhere near as decent as the stuff you hear. Actually, no, I would say it's actually on par with the SC55 stuff that's in the PC9800 version of Star Cruiser 2, the Odysseus project. But either way, the next time that we do get back to Star Cruiser, it will be Star Cruiser MD. And then after that, we'll go over to Star Cruiser 2, the Odysseus project. Oh, I hope this Star Cruiser 2 has a money cheat. Because as far as I'm aware, I don't know if it does. But as for other stuff, as I mentioned before, as this is the last major program that you'll be seeing from me, at least until October 2, I ultimately don't know what the future holds for at least my other, like, there might be some mini programs every once in a while. Man, it is really hard to think. And again, we're at the end of the part. It's not like there's not much more to watch here except to know what'll be happening. But I think what I'll probably just do after this is, what I've been mentioning throughout this entire commentary. Upgrade my hardware. Because, don't get me wrong, I love Intel Core i5-8400. The RX 550, very useful resource if you're doing any kind of editing and rendering in standard definition or HD for Magix Vegas Pro. But, for what I'm doing nowadays, I simply cannot run on this hardware for much of any longer because of the fact that I need more processing power, need more graphical capabilities, and most importantly, we need more storage. So that's probably what I'll be doing, funds permitting. Again, I've been saving up. At this time, I've only got about $412 to work with, $412 US, but I'll figure out what I'll be doing later on. Once all the funds are at the ready, then I'll figure out how I'll do it. All my PCs will get the sleeper treatment, and it shall be a very glorious time. Somehow, again, this is the final major commentary of Royameadow Generation 3. At least in regulation. So when I think of it, this ultimately means that for the time being, I'm not going to be I won't really be doing too much of anything. I probably might still be releasing some stuff for Healing Echoes DX and eventually Fairness, but material for Fairness, the only thing you're going to be getting is actually a music video at the end of this, which actually is featuring a track from Fairness, I'll Survoid the Rain, or I'll Survoid the Storm, which is based on Umbrella. No, not Rihanna's Umbrella. Kate Fairbanks' Umbrella, along with the theme of Void, and what was the name of that beat by Natsu Fuji? Fortunately, I'm right here on the desktop, so I can just check. The name of that, let's see, Mr. Johnson's Concert Choir. So I'm just typing up here just so I can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, but either way, yeah, it starts off with some Golden Axe stuff and then turns into a ridiculous trap beat. So yeah, you'll be enjoying that at the end of the part. But yeah, as for that, if you don't hear from me, I'm still on social media for the most part. So, you can interact with me whenever you want to. You can probably check up on updates. But yeah, it does to some degree feel bittersweet, but at the same time, I'm not worried, because I've still got a lot more stuff to be pumping out. I've got limitless possibilities now, and it all starts with this commentary. So, you know, again, I know we're deep into the end of the part here. We're cutting close to 90 minutes now. We're at an hour, 27 minutes, and 57 seconds in terms of what I'm discussing. But, you know, again, I want to thank you guys for watching. This channel has never had the popularity that, in my view, it rightfully deserves. My works don't have nearly as much popularity as I personally feel they rightfully deserve. And, you know, some of the stuff that I've done, not just, you know, for commentary or in the game modding community, well, a good amount of that stuff's still in progress, just keep in mind. But, you know, just everywhere. Because I am well known in my region. And the fact that I still have support after all these years, the fact that even, you know, those in my team still have support after all these years, it's important. Again, you guys are the motivation for why I keep doing this. And I also am the motivation for myself, too. Without me, I don't think that I really would be, you know, still in entertainment after 20 years. That would be a milestone for anybody. And it definitely is for me. What the future holds with Quarter 4 and Generation 4, that is yet to be seen. But from the way that things are looking, I've got a good feeling that everybody will be happy with the outcome. Who knows, everybody will probably return too. It shall be one big party, a celebration every single day. That is how I feel that the modern existence will be. It has been that way up to now, and it shall be that way for the times to come. Well, I've hit 90 minutes, so I think that we have already gotten as much as I can probably pump out here, so with that said, I'm going to take it over to Kate, Not2Fuji, Vectroid, Sega composers, you name it. It's time for All Survoid the Storm. Thanks for watching, ladies and gentle people. I'll see you when Royameadow 20th Anniversary and Modern Legacy start up. Thank you. Thank you for everything. And good night.
Every time Fuji drop a beat, they be like, hell no.